I appear to be quite low down. One moment. Oh, that'd be why, because the camera's. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I was doing some dusting earlier, and obviously I knocked the camera off its little spot. Ooh, getting that weird glitchy. Right. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Right, okay. Is the audio working first of all? Let's just check that as well. Yes, we are. Good. Yeah, Windows updates really do mess with my settings. Good evening, good evening. Okay, got to double check just to make sure the audio's going all right. How's the audio levels on streaming? Because lots of things seem to have got reset, and I'm a bit concerned something's gone wrong that I've not missed, that I've not seen even, that I've missed. And I've had a bit of a audio's fine. Okay, good. Right. Yes, it's been one of those. It's been one of those days where I have existed on a diet of caffeine and rage. Let's just put it like that. Right. So, for anybody who is new to the channel, I do a little bit of a blurb at the beginning to sort of talk through things. The important thing is there is no audio or video from what we're going to be watching tonight, which is Star Trek Insurrection. There is. Okay, just right. I was like to get it's basically below my beautiful face. There is a synchronized timer, so that way, you know, if you join the stream late or you're catching up with the VODs or whatever else, you can, you know, pause, whatever, and then, you know, you should be within a few seconds of it, and it'll basically go something like it'll go like that. See, it'll go along for a little second, and I can pause it, or I can reset it if we're like we're getting it. If we're doing like a multi-part watch, like on a film or something, and that's basically it. I will often do when I remember, a 5-second countdown to start, and then I'll press play, start the sync timer, and we're all good to go. Right, so Star Trek Insurrection. This is not necessarily the last Star Trek film in the franchise, but it is the last that I have access to, and it's going to be leaving. Apparently it's going to be leaving Prime in about 6 days, which is like, oh, we caught that one quite close. So next week, probably going to be watching another Star-related film that I very much enjoy. It's a bit cheesy, but I like it, and it did spawn a very, very good series of sci-fi shows called Stargate. It's got Kurt Russell and Dave Spader, I think it is, as Daniel Jackson. Even though they changed the actors in the show for reasons. In fact, they even what I like is they even make a joke about that. But I'm not going to go into that now. I'm going to focus on Star Trek tonight. So, last time we had James Spader. There we go. I'm getting the names mixed up. That's what it is. Like I say, it's a bit warm here in the UK at the moment. It hit a high of about 28. So that's another reason why I'm very irritable today. And yeah, like I said earlier, existing on a diet of rage and caffeine. So, last time we had First Contact, which in my opinion is the peak Star Trek film. Maybe not, you know, if I'm brutally honest, a absolutely amazing sci-fi film, but it's decent enough in its own right. And Insurrection. 20C would be absolutely chef's kiss. I mean, indoors at the moment, looking at my thermometer, it is about 26-ish, but I do have the fan on. So at peak, yeah, it was about 28 today. Yes, Star Trek Insurrection. This one is interesting in that whenever people talk about like their favourite Star Trek films, you know, some people might say Wrath of Khan. Others might quite understandably say Undiscovered Country, or Voyage Home, or, you know, First Contact. Those tend to be the ones people like. Now, some people might prefer one, others might prefer another one. Whenever I've spoken to people about various films, Insurrection's never been put in the top 3. Now, this not necessarily mean that this is a bad film. I've mentioned before on my sort of personal hypothesis of what I call the bookend theory, in that if you have a decent-ish film, but preceding it, or even, you know, sometimes even after it, are two amazing films, and this also applies to books and games and things like that as well. The one in the middle doesn't look that great in comparison. One of my favourite MMOs, for example, I've played is Final Fantasy XIV, and there was a few expansions where people were like, "Oh, I'm not too keen on this one," but when you look at it objectively, it's like that's actually not too bad. It's just again the bookend up theory. Really, really good one, decent one, another really good one. I'm trying to think what other films I could apply to. I mean, there's plenty of books, for example. There we go. Yes, books and films. The Lord of the Rings films, for example. This is another good one, which sort of supports it. And one of the reasons why I came up with this. Fellowship of the Ring, generally considered to be an amazing introduction to the franchise. I'm going to go by the films for this. Return of the King. Oh, Return of the King has some amazing, amazing moments in it. Two Towers is actually pretty decent, but it has that sort of, again, the bookend theory where, it's dealing with the fallout of the previous one, but it's also trying to set up for the next bit. I personally love all three of those films, but out of the three of them, I prefer Return of the King, followed by Fellowship, followed by Two Towers. Now, this is in a long way of me explaining kind of the vibe that a lot of people have with Insurection, in that it isn't a bad film. It's just surrounded by great. So in comparison, yeah. Now, this was one I can remember vaguely seeing at the cinema, and if this is the one I think it is, because it's been a while since I've watched this one, there's some good Star Trek elements in this, some classic sort of say Star Trek elements. There is also a couple of bits in it which make people go, "Ugh," sort of thing, but it doesn't have. How can I put it? I'm trying because Nemesis, I think. I'm trying to remember. Does Nemesis come out before this? Again, it's been a long time since I've watched Nemesis. If it came out before this, or if it came out after this, because Nemesis has a couple of really. It made people be like, "Oh, there's some bad stuff that's happening in this film." Again, not necessarily bad, but just like maybe bad for the franchise. And put my spoiler warning up there for Nemesis. Yeah, a main character permanently dies in Nemesis. Right at the end. Or maybe it's this one. Either way, there is some. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's Nemesis. And there's also a very, very questionable scene involving Deanna Troi. Now, just trying to think what it is. This one, yeah, this one does have a classic sort of Star Trek plot to it. I'm keeping it vague for anybody who hasn't seen it, obviously. Now, we are not at home to Captain Spoiler on this channel. But there's some classic Star Trek stuff in this, and I think, honestly, this one would have been... I honestly think this one should have come out before First Contact, which may be a bit controversial to some people, but due to all the stuff that happens in it, and things like that, maybe give... This would have been, for me, a good sort of like shakedown for the new Enterprise, which we saw in First Contact, the Sovereign class, the Enterprise E, lovely ship. This I think would have been a good shakedown for it. They could have cut out the whole bit like, "Oh, we've been out of stock for a year, blah 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 blah." Although if I remember correctly, in the timeline, this takes place, I believe, just before or at the beginning. No, I'm just trying to remember, because there is a connection between. Again, timelines get mixed up in my head. There is a connection between this and Deep Space Nine again. It's something to do with the Dominion War, because the main, I'm going to call the antagonists in this, have a connection to the Dominion. I think it might be like a a political connection, really, as such. Not actually a thoughts of like, yes, it turns out we're the Dominions. Like, no, it's not like that. It's more like a, you know what? I might end up spoiling things. So rather than doing that, let's get ourselves ready. So get everything all get your business. Yeah, they've definitely had some kind of business with the Dominion. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, like there's no love lost between, but it's more a case of, well, we need you to help with something else, but if you don't, we don't give a flying monkeys. You can GTFO as far as we care. Right, so so I just get a bit warm again. Okay, so as I mentioned before, could do a 5. Apparently, according to the trivia on this, and this has come up as I've loaded it up. Apparently, Arnold Schwarzenegger was first offered the role of one of the characters in this. Does this have F. Murray Abraham in it? Because if this is the F. Murray Abraham one, this is, again, it's not too bad. It just has a couple of elements that are like, ugh. Like, okay, I'm jabbering, so let's just begin. There, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Flashing images, violence, alcohol use, and foul language. And also, let's be honest, even the worst Star Trek film is actually still pretty decent, in my opinion. And controversially, I actually like the newer Star Trek films. I have my... so Jonathan Frakes on. So, good. That's a good sign. So again, it fits in with the whole... The even ones are good, the odd ones are not so good. But yeah, I mean, the new Star Trek films, actually, I don't have any problems with them. I mean, I prefer the older ones, but I have no problems with the new ones. Yes, this is the one I was... Yes. A very non-standard Star Trek opening, because it normally does the whole star field and stuff like that. Yes, once again, I am drinking some cranberry juice because this stuff is good. Also, and I'll come to after, this film reminds me very much of a very particular Stargate episode. But I'm not going to say any more because it will be spoilers. See, yes, F. Murray Abraham, this is the one I'm thinking of. All I'll say is, for Stargate fans, the Knox. I'll say no more. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. Oh, Patrick Stewart's associate producer. Yeah. Also, like I've mentioned before, I will be starting up for myself and some friends a Star Trek Adventures campaign, so I'm using this as research. Honestly, Star Trek Adventures is probably my second favourite RPG to play after D&D. It's very narrative focused, which I like. That looks like such a peaceful place. What's going to go wrong? It's all the same with sort of film. You see, nice, peaceful, everybody's all sort of very, very white. But there's a reason for that. Oh. Oh, that's Federation. Yes, this is the one I was thinking of. Yep, because they got the DS9 uniforms as well. So this is like sort of towards the end, maybe the end of the Dominion War. I do like the DS9 later uniforms. Huh. The Android. The Android. Yeah, there's only one Android. Yeah, because they can't see what's going on. Oh, that's not good. Now, there's something interesting here, which, if you know your Star Trek lore, would definitely make you sort of go, wait a minute. Because there's something that the Federation are not supposed to do. Well, actually, multiple things they're not supposed to do. It's a floating head. I don't think he's listening. Oh, I'm trying to remember if they address a certain point in this. Like, hmm. Yeah, it's a loophole that the Federation have figured out. Let's just put it like that. Congratulations, you've culturally contaminated these people. Yay, Prime Directive. And there's the gratuitous space shot. Ah, yes. Ship smut. Honestly, I love the relationship between Riker and Troy. Like, and that's mostly down to the people playing them. So, like, they feel like a couple, you know. There you go. I knew there's a reference to the Dominion in there. Yes. Yes, this is like sort of probably in the midpoint of the Dominion War then. Because obviously, the Sovereign class gets used in combat against the Dominion. I know that. This is why you have a number one to deal with those sort of things and then decide if it's worth passing it up the chain. Ah. I love the alien designs that they have in Trek. Oh, she knows. She knows what's going down. That smirk. Bolians. Yes, Bolians. Surprisingly good at haircuts. Excuse me. Oh, the briar patch. Oh, yes, I just remembered something. Yes, I just remembered something about this film. That should be good. that's so Geordie understands, but you can easily turn around and say, "Well, I told the captain." Yes, the briar patch is a dangerous area. Oh, I forgot about that bit. Stapling it to his head. The sonar have nice. Oh yes, that is very true. Their ship design is pretty jazzy. But that's the thing about Star Trek in general. Phaser blast. That's Federation tech. You know, Klingons have disruptors, Romulans have plasma weapons, Dominion have Polaron. Yeah, that's the Federation. Yep. That's another thing I like about Trek is that even the weapons systems are almost distinct for each culture. I just need to check something. Yeah, I thought so. Marina Sirtis, aka Councillor Troy, was basically born in, let's just say, London. I almost doxed myself there. But yes, she was born in London. I will say no more. I love the L Cars design. That's the connection. That's why. That's why the Dominion are interested in them. I, For those who don't know, Ketracel White is used by the Dominion to, shall we say, keep their shock troops, the Jem'Hadar, in line. Because if the Jem'Hadar don't take Ketracel White, they die. Son of a... That's the thing, if you go from like one ship for planet or star system to another, your system's going to take time to adjust to ship time. Is that a trill? Yeah, that's a trill. That's a trill sitting next to Geordie. You can tell by the spots. Is she joined though? That's the question. I can't see Arnold Schwarzenegger playing that role. The sonar dode. Yeah. I knew there was a connection between the sonar and the Dominion, but I couldn't remember what it was. Oh, that's a... Federation ships are just freaking gorgeous. They really are. Hmm. Just trying to work out, is that a runabout that they're flying? No, it's the shuttlecraft. Runabouts are like sort of halfway between shuttles and full ships. Oh, okay, that's a smart move. Oh yeah, having a fight during re-entry, that's going to go well. Hmm. Okay, that's stupid, but I love it. Like, I am not familiar with their work, sir. Oh. And then it's like, what the actual Wolf's like, I'm regretting coming back to the Enterprise. I should have stayed on Deep Space Nine. It's like, thank you, Captain. I don't have to sing anymore. I try and merry attitude. Oh, I'm trying to remember what that what the ship that the Data's flying is called. Like, it looks like a heavy fighter. Because it's only got room for like one person in it. Yes, remember, we lean to the left. Yeah, probably the only one who could handle Data. Hi. We, so everyone invading your village. Accidentally. Whoopsie. And they're having dinner with the locals. Okay. Like, that seems fair. That's yep. Then yeah, they're not being hostile. Then it's like, but can we just, can we have a can we stay with the food? That food looks good. Let's see that they're hugging the people as they're going away. It's like, what's going on? Really? She's got you there. It's like, yeah, she's got you there. Mic drop. Hmm. Yeah. That's why I said like the Knox. Yeah. They and because like we didn't need to do all this stuff. We could have just turned up and said hello. Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, that they know. They're just like, yeah, we just like sitting here chilling. That dude was like, I imagine that somebody in the Federation would be like, so they're actually okay? Whew. I think that's a sci-fi trope I really do like. You meet a simple culture who are pretty chill and happy with their lot in life, and it turns out they're at the same level of technology as you, if not higher. I freaking love that as a concept. Oh, oh, is that what you called it, Riker? Counselling. Yeah, can't say I blame him. Honestly, a lot better. The uniform she's wearing now, I think it's so much better than what she had on in the early seasons of Next Generations. That grin. But yeah, the uniform. Honestly, that the uniform suits freaking everyone. I think it just looks so good. That's why I have a replica version of Picard's. Ooh, almost Borg-like. I don't know. Oh, look at this cute little thing. I mean, that's like it's basically a paradise world. Yeah, but you're the walking embodiment of technology. Oh, oh, not now, Rolf. I haven't left Orbit Admiral because I'm in the bath with my. Oh, what's the term that they use? It's not fiance. Imzadi. That's it. Yeah, like it's not quite fiance. It's like life partner or something like that. It's a Betazoid term. Ugh. Hmm. Genetic manipulation. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Neutrino. Ooh. Yeah. If I remember correctly, there's only in the Star Trek universe is apart from neutron stars. There's generally only two things that produce massive amounts of neutrinos. I'm not going to say what it is, what the other one is, but one of them is a wormhole. Pretty sure there's no wormhole there. Hmm. That. That's what causes the other cause of neutrino emissions. And that ain't no wormhole. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Like I say, it's not a bad film, but it's just, like I say, it's surrounded by really good films. I mean, God, look at that landscape. Like I said, this world is a paradise world. To use no. Now that's not something you see every day. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting question, isn't it? She has an idea. One thing I'm slightly disappointed with regards to the Star Trek films, is that there was never a Deep Space Nine Dominion focused film. Like to sort of deal with like the aftermath of the Dominion War or something like that. It, unfortunately, it was at that. That was very disappointing. Yes. And as you said, something quite important there. The cloak. Neutrinos come from, like I say, two sources in Star Trek universe, not including the aforementioned neutron stars, wormholes and cloaked vessels. And the Federation are explicitly banned by the Treaty of Algernon, or Algernon, I can never quite remember how to pronounce it. Basically, a treaty with the Romulans from making a cloaking device. It's just like, mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been there before. Like, oh dear. Wait a minute. It's like, the fuck? You've shaven. I think. Damn. I think Jonathan Frakes looks better with a beard. It suits him. Honestly, generally speaking, Jonathan Frakes directed Star Trek episodes are pretty decent. Like even the episodes he did, stuff like that. It's like you get a certain directors coming up, you're like, that's a. It's like, what's going on? Hmm. Interesting. Something interesting's going on in this place. I've just remembered something else as well. Fountain of Youth, basically. Basically, makes sense. Mm. I think you're starting to see where the insurrection may come from. And there it is. Sounds about right. So that's the thing. Would you give up everything you know to live on the one planet that will keep you in your physical prime? No injuries, no diseases. A paradise world, for want of a better term. But you can't leave. Humans are humans. It does sound like a pretty sweet deal. I mean, it'll be one heck of an adjustment, but honestly, I think I would. I think my biggest problem would be keeping the old brain occupied. Like, but I suppose it's like, if that place helps to, you know, I mean, the stargazing opportunities there will be amazing. So yeah, I suppose they, yeah, well, he did spend some time in the Nexus, so technically yes. Yeah, that would sway me over. It'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell everyone back home that I died fighting the Borg or something. Yeah, it's like a form of meditation. It's like it's like elves, like in it's like, yeah, I don't need to rush. I was like, why? I have all the time in the world. Yeah, it's like Picard's like what? If we say Picard's like in his 70s, like 60s, 70s, and she's 300 years old, it's like, yeah, dude. It's like an elf chatting up a human, basically. Like, what's the name? Arwen in Aragon. Like, yeah, she's like 3 times his age. I say, yeah, I think I would. And it's like, just give me like a little spot, if a little place to live. Oh, oh, his eyes. Damn. Holy shit, he's never seen a sunrise. Like, with his regular eyes. 'Cause I think, wasn't he born half blind or something? Like, or had issues with his eyes when he was like a kid? Oh man, look at that. It's just beautiful. Everyone has some moments to be like, you take all the time you need, dude. And just, just lit. Yeah, I see what you mean about the sonar ships. They are. Oof, they are nice. Very. Looks like a boomerang. Oh, oh dear. But yeah, dude, you got a bit of red on you. Yeah, it's definitely the ones from the film. The one film that had the issues with it is Nemesis. The more I'm watching this, the more I'm remembering. Yeah, it was Nemesis that had some of the questionable parts in it. Oh, yeah. No, that. Doughty's not doing good for the iffy admiral trope. Can you? Oh, that's a that. Oh, great! So they're going to basically exterminate the planet. Fantastic. Makes me wonder how they found that planet in the first place. Because like the bright patch is really freaking dangerous. Yes, yes, that's it. Come on, Jean Luc. There we go. Only. It's like, oh. That's it. How many's? I know the whole needs of the many and everything, but it's like, yeah, come on. Sci-fi has always been so very, very good at basically sort of pointing at an issue that humanity has and going, see? See? Metaphor. Oh, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal what he's doing right there. The equivalent of, like, you know, in the cop films of taking their badge off and sort of thing and just, boom, taking off the captain's pips. That's a big... Yeah. What the... What the Baku did. Yes, as you may guess, the what's it? The Fletch, yeah, like cosmetic surgery, basically. Like, ugh. Botox cranked up to an 11. They do literally stretch the skin. Ugh. What in my part of the world is called a trashy facelift. Yep, Riker's got you there. Yeah, see. Oh, she knows. Yes. You're not the captain technically at the moment, but we're coming with you anyway. You can't order us back. Really? You sure about that? Again, sounds familiar. Ah, yes, the captain's yacht. Normally used for, you know, diplomatic reasons and stuff like that. Yep. Yeah, they're not going to care about the people who are on the planet. And there we go. Yes. It's, it's basically saying that the sonar, I mean, they are in cahoots with the Dominion. And again, for those of you who are not familiar with Deep Space Nine, the Dominion are the bad guys, basically. They are like the opposite of the Federation. What do they call it? Is it totalitarian? I think there's a term for the Dominion, and they're ruled by shapeshifters with the Jem'Hadar as their foot soldiers who can beat the crud out of Klingons and only live for 4 years. Sonar ships. Not sonar. Sonar. There's an apostrophe in the middle. Oh, I love that weapon sound. Llamas. Wait, are the llamas biologically immortal? Oh, okay. Now that's an interesting thing I didn't realise. Beaming something that's moving is very tricky. It's much more complicated. Not impossible. Those are llamas. But yeah. Oh, the little... That's it, yeah. Don't forget your little squishy boy. So if there are llamas on that planet, that means they must have brought some of the llamas with them. Yeah, those llamas have got to be immortal as well. At least he's trying... Yeah, Federation's all for a reason, because it works. And survived. The Cardassians. sorry. The Cardassians are not very important these days. The Borg? Yes. The Dominion? Yes. Cardassians? Well, to be fair, that shows how big space is. Seriously, space is big. Send them to what? Ah, yes, you have to change your words there. Escort. Oh, this is giving me such a good idea for my Star Trek campaign, this film. Smart kid. Some kids do. Yeah. The bonding moment. Yeah. Dave's gonna learn a lot from this kid. Kid's alright. Yeah, and Dave's going, he has a point. Yeah, that's unusual aggressive tendencies for a Klingon. Look, I think even Picard started to realise she's flirting like mad. Even my autistic ass is noticing it. Damn! I mean, she is an older woman. That is very true. It's like, just be quiet, John Luke. Yeah. And considering, like, was it a hummingbird flaps its wings at something like, what, 50 times a second or something stupid like that? Yep, definitely true. That's why. I forgot about that line. Oh. Blimey. uh, oh, those are snazzy looking ships. And the thing is, isolating tanks are a great thing because it's literally something to lock onto. As the thing, remember, definitely it's actually a pretty good shot. Llama. Oh, yeah. Deuterium. You know what? Is this? Oh, yeah. Oh, fudge. Out of ammo. Oh, yeah. Those weapons are banned. There we go. Yeah, subspace weapons literally tear apart subspace. It's basically ripping the fabric of space apart. Yep. There's Star Trek. There's certain types of weapons that are banned for various reasons. Subspace weapons are one of them. Yeah, which unfortunately now means unless they have a spare warp core, they can't go to warp. Oh yeah, that's a plasma. That was a plasma fire. That's gonna sting. Yeah, yeah. That was a Bajoran. That was a freaking Bajoran. So, yeah. I reckon because the earring, very distinctive. Oh, the little whatever that is disturbingly cute. Yeah, I think there's some cave systems. Some are only you can only go in. not go out. Nice, perfect hole. Good job's not a load bearing wall. Bit of luck in it. Oh yes. That's it. Give me some more of that ship goodness. Yeah, that's right. Oh yes. That's a look. It's just like, oh yes. The Riker maneuver. And there's a sort of joke in, like, I think this actually is even a trope as well. How big boom. I'll come out in a second. How Star Trek got good once Riker grew his beard, and it's the opposite of jumping the shark. It's a legitimate trope. It's called growing the beard. Oh, you've got your little dude. You forgot your pet. Where is he? Where's your little dude? Aw, I think he's disturbingly cute. But I suppose it's to set up whatever plot line they're doing with him. Ooh, that's gonna leave a bruise. Wolf's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, phaser weapons are good, but they are. So he just picks it up like it's pot. But anyone else picking up those weapons have to sort of strain and everything. But you know, Brent Spiner playing data would just be like, yes, it's just like polystyrene rock. Tricorders are freaking amazing. They are like ridiculously powerful multi-tools. I mean, but they're generalists, so you can monitor someone's life signs, but you can't like go like a deep genetic scan with them or something like that. But they are freaking great. Something else that made me laugh is the amount of people who didn't understand it. Are they slowing down time? It's like, no, they're not. They're not slowing down time. It's their perceptions and their bodies that are slowing down. Again, it's like a form of waking meditation sort of thing. It's like, yeah. That's the. I have tried meditation, and it is one of those weird things. It's when it clicks, it is one of those. That's how easy it is, but it takes you ages to learn that that's how easy it is. It's a weird paradox. It takes ages to learn. That's the same. That it doesn't take ages to learn. Oh, here we go. What's that? Was it like? Is it like Seven Samurai? Or in A Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where the people defend the village and stuff like that? Like it's like a Western. I want to say Seven Samurai or the Good and Bad. Yeah, it's that stereotype of the Western. And it was that scene there of them standing together that just reminded me. Hmm. Yeah, right. Oh, like you were going to destroy the Enterprise. That's it. Push the blade in further, Picard. Boom. There's the revelation. Of course, they would have remembered them. Oh. Yeah. Honestly, I can still remember sitting in the cinema I was watching this, just being like, wait, they're the same. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's just like that's like, saying or doing something and your nan looking at you and being like the proverbial, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed and upset. And you're like, oh, throw me out the airlock. Ooh, oh, that's gonna. Oh, oh, this is gonna be unpleasant. Yeah, it stretches it so tight he can't even breathe. Because it's not just stretching his face; it's also stretching this on his throat as well. So it's like squeezing his throat at the same time. Very unpleasant. Also, his physiology is not used to it. It's like, yes, Captain, I have a problem with the order. My nan's on that planet. Yeah, but he's had time to reflect and think maybe we shouldn't be dicks about this. And he says, no, moving them, okay, it's going to be unpleasant, but they won't be hurt. It's the solar ship. So the sail ship. No, it's not the solar sail ship, it's the collector ship. Solar sail ship is a completely different one. That thing just looks menacing. Especially because all the angles on it. I wasn't thinking about the security system, not at all. Kind of reminiscent of an elder thing from at the mountain. Yes! Yes! I suppose that's what it is. I mean, there's always that sort of, you know, the ship designs in Star Trek always try to convey something about the culture that they come from. Like Borg ships, cubes, they don't give a fudge about physics. Federation ships, sleek design. What's the word? Very, sort of like, yeah, we're here, but you don't want to mess with us. Klingons, we will F you up. Romulans, sleek, deadly, when you can see them. Jem'Hadar ships, we don't care about your defences. So yeah, every culture's ships has a vibe to it, and I forget again. That's something I love about it. That's such a good line. I'm not pleading for my life, I'm pleading for yours. Ooh, so you're getting through to him. Like he doesn't want people to be like. He just wanted. Yeah, this is the guys realizes like, yeah, we've messed up, but we can at least try not to make their life shitty. Moisture me, moisturize me. Was it Cassandra, wasn't it, from Doctor Who? That one. That's that same sort of really stretched out face. She was like, moisturize me. And the ship appears to be on fire. Oof. Yep, that's a pickle. They pulled a sneaky. Can you guess what they did? They did. Yep, that's a bit of a sneaky move. Yes, exactly like the simulations. Oh, that's a shame. Frozen in 6 seconds. Yeah, it's the fact it's a cloaked ship as well. Like, yeah, the Federation really should not have access to Federation, sorry, cloaking tech. They get away with the Defiant because of reasons. Ugh. Shazbud. I gotta say, that's a beast of a ship. But most of it's taken out with the collection system, so it's like a lot of empty space there, but for good reason. That's it, Wolf. That's it. Sorry, I've been wanting to do this all day. Yeah, and this takes like several of them to take him down. Yes. Oh, yes, the venting. And isn't it nice that the sonar use Federation numbers for their countdown? Oh! Oh! I've just remembered something else as well. So, no spoilers. No spoilers. No Picard, when he doesn't give a flying it's pretty good. Worf's face is like, yes. It's like, that is definitely the look of somebody who approves of what's about to happen. Drive-by beaming coming up. So that's the thing, as I said earlier, beaming whilst either the thing doing the beaming or the target is moving is tricky. Hmm. Yeah, I bet the Federation are going to have a discussion about this. And considering at one point in TNG, Worf was dating Deanna. Get a bit of dust in here. Mm-hmm. Dominion War. Nice one, Picard. Oh, Mom! I want to stay and play! that is such a sort of... It's such a... Yeah, Beverly being Data's mum, basically. Definitely. The Sovereign's a nice design. Okay. Now, did I like Insurection? Yes, I did. I'm trying to remember. Is there any... I don't think there's any post-credit cutscenes. There generally aren't in the Star Trek films, but I'm just sort of scanning ahead to see if there are. And there are not. Okay. So that was the last of the Trek films for now. Like I said, fingers crossed. Next week it will be Stargate, which is another franchise I actually quite liked. It's a question for everybody who's watching, especially like on YouTube or whatever. Which is your, if you have one, which is your favourite Enterprise or favourite ship from the Star Trek series? It doesn't have to be the Enterprise, but like if you could be, I don't know, Q snaps his fingers and you could be transported back into any ship in any version of them, from the original TOS Enterprise all the way up to the Sovereign class, which would be your ship that you would serve on? And I think for me, honestly, I think it would be the Galaxy class. Yeah, it's a tricky one. This is one of the sort of ones up until a few years ago I'd be like, oh yeah, give me the Sovereign or something like that. But as time's gone by, I've grown to appreciate what the Galaxy class can do as a ship, because the Sovereign was built towards the end of the Dominion War, so it's more of a fighting ship, whereas the the original Enterprises, all the way up to Bat A or so, was like more of a exploration ship. The B was, I suppose you can kind of like almost like continuing that sort of thing. Oh, the Galaxy class. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that the Enterprise D does have that sort of. It's high up in the rankings, but I think what does it for me is that it's basically like a flying city in effect. You know, you have way more stuff on there. You know, it was designed with families in mind. So you've got schools, you've got libraries, you've got hairdressers, you've got cetacean ops, you've got the holodecks, you've got 10 forwards, you've got so many other things on there. Like, it was designed as a flagship class to show off to the rest of the Federation and the other cultures. Just like, yeah, we're not all about, blowing things out of the sky. Yeah, you always have a soft spot for the classic Enterprise. No bloody A, B, C, or D. Nice callback to Montgomery Scott. That episode of Next Generation was great. Relics. That was a bit of a tearjerker. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with the classic Enterprise. And I think I've mentioned I've got models of, I think, all but the refit from the new one. It's one. I've got TOS one. I've got a TOS refit. Motion picture version. The A, the B, the C, the D, the E, the Sovereign class. I've also got a few of the other ships, like the Defiant. Although, personally speaking, in terms of visual looks and what it can do, I have a major soft spot for the Prometheus class. I freaking love that ship design, especially with its multi-vector assault mode, because it's ridiculous. I mean, in Star Trek Online, it's not a particularly good thing. It's a bit on the weak source side, but that episode of Voyager, because I've mentioned before, my mum was who got me into Star Trek, and so once I moved there, every so often, like if I was visiting, if Trek was on or like Voyager and things like that, we'd watch it together because just sort of a bit of family time. It gave me an excuse to pop round to visit and things like that. And I remember we were watching Voyager because she, and then that episode came up. I think it was Message in a Bottle, and it's just like the Prometheus. Oh, that's a funky looking ship. And it's just like, would you like to engage multi-vector assault mode? Yes. Oh, it's absolutely freaking great. And then in Star Trek Online, they took it to the next level, and it became the Hestia class. And I used the Hestia class as the baseline for my previous Star Trek Online game. Sorry, Star Trek Adventures game, and absolutely friggin' loved it. But I'm probably going to go back to a Galaxy class because, it's just got such a what's the word I'm looking for? Wow, what's the word I'm looking for? It's got such a sort of classic look to it, and there's also like a version as well. The Ross class. Now, people think that's named after Admiral Ross. It's not, and this is legitimately a canon ship because it was featured in Picard. And I've mentioned the Stringpunks before, but they created for their, I suppose say license would be a better term, actual play they did. And it was a ship called the Ross class, which was almost like a cross between the Enterprise C and the Enterprise D. Like when you look at it, it's almost as if the C and the D got together and had a baby. It's that kind of like, I can see where they're going. It was that kind of almost like a hybrid design between the two. Really, really good design. I think it was designed by the same person who, I think they got special permission to get the guy who designs a lot of the ships for Star Trek. I want to say Thomas Maroney, but I'm probably going to be quite wrong with that. And it's one of the reasons why, if you ever watch, I probably don't have the video still, but there was an episode of Picard, I think it was in season either 2 or season 3, when I got really freaking excited because that ship showed up, which meant it was canon. It was like, and I made lots of happy claps for that. But anyway, I am getting absolutely sweating my buckets here, so I'm going to go and have a shower because it's really warm. But yeah, fingers crossed, next week we'll be watching Stargate if it's still available. If not, then we'll be watching Fallout, to the TV show. Next week, I'm going to be playing ESO for a while. With regards to RimWorld, there there's a big update that's coming and a big DLC. That may affect how my saves are and how the mods work and things like that. They've already started to patch some of the simpler ones to begin with. That's going to be a big deal. So it's going to be a long time before I can play RimWorld again, because I'm going to have to wait for all these mods to be patched, and or at least a big chunk of them. So if that happens and it does become, everything playable, then I will probably return to it at some point. But I'm going to have to wait for at least 1.6 to come out, because it is bringing in apparently some really big changes. Because obviously if I do it now, it could completely corrupt my save, which means everything would be gone. So I'm going to have to be very careful with RimWorld. I've not even booted it up since that. It's complicated, but anyway. So yeah, I'm going to stop that, because I should have stopped that ages ago. I'm going to say goodnight, and hope everybody has a good weekend. Nighty night.